Chapter 14. I didn't like having the rental car parked nearby. Technically, the rental term wasn't up, so the rental company wouldn't be looking for it, but Parker could have possibly put pressure on them to find it. I didn't know if their cars were traceable by GPS, but I didn't want to take that chance. I decided that they would likely find the car soon, so I decided to return it. I got the rental receipt from the glove box and looked up the address. It was relatively close, but not so close that it would give away my location if I returned it there. I took Annie's spare key and headed out the door. When I got to the rental car place, I parked the car in their return lot, grabbed my jacket, and dropped the keys in the box. The office was open, but I saw no reason to go inside. As I was driving to the rental car place, I noticed a mobile phone store about a block away. I walked there and purchased a cheap smartphone and a 2-gigabyte phone card. I thought phone cards were sold by the minute, but I had been out of it for a while. The woman there helped me set up the phone, and when I left, I called a cab to take me back to Annie's apartment. Once back at the apartment, I poked through the kitchen for something to eat. I probably needed to eat healthier, and here was my chance. On the counter were apples, bananas, peaches, and tomatoes. She also had onions, garlic, sweet potatoes, and some kind of squash. In the refrigerator was a big tub of spring mix, yogurt, eggs, blueberries, and a half-gallon of coconut milk. I should have made a nice salad, but I felt a bit lazy. I checked the cabinet and found what I was looking for: cereal. It was granola, but close enough. I poured some into a bowl, added blueberries and a little coconut milk, and brought it into the living room. I turned the television on and found a news channel. I thought there was a slight chance that Parker or Gabby might be on the news, but I saw nothing about them. I assumed it was just a local Florida story. I finished the cereal, washed the bowl, and got the business card from Annie's dresser. I took out my burner phone and dialed the number on the card. Annie picked up on the second ring. "Officer Hanson." "Annie?" I said. "It's, John." "John, are you okay?" she said. "I thought you didn't have a phone." "I bought it today," I said. "It's not traceable to me. I wanted you to have my number." "That's good," she said. "Where are you now?" "I'm back at your apartment," I said. "I hope you don't mind, but I ate some of your food." "You wouldn't be John if you didn't," she said. "I'll be home in a few hours. If you plan on staying, I'll pick up a pizza on the way home." "That sounds great," I said. "Judging by what's in your kitchen, I'm surprised you eat pizza." "I know you love pizza, John. I love it too. I try to eat healthy, but sometimes cheating is good for the soul." She then added, "I'm only talking about food cheating." I figured as much. "I look forward to eating pizza with you tonight," I said, feeling like a teenager on a first date. "Do you mind if I use your shower?" "I would prefer that," she said. I didn't want to say anything before, but I think a shower would benefit you greatly. "I'm sorry," I said, embarrassed. "My resources have been limited lately." "No worries. I understand." I thanked her and hung up. I checked the dresser and found several pairs of underwear and socks. In the closet were 2 t-shirts and a collared button-up shirt. There were also 2 pairs of pants, both tan. One looked like tactical pants with several pockets for holding stuff. The other looked like khakis. I pulled out the collared shirt and khakis. I figured I should look nice. Prosody %. After I showered and dressed, I wanted to brush my teeth. I saw 2 toothbrushes in the bathroom. I assumed one was mine, but I didn't know which one, so I just put some toothpaste on my finger and ran it across my teeth. I went back into the living room and took out the laptop. I inserted the memory card with Dad's program and copied it to the computer. I didn't think I would need a copy, but if anything happened to the thumb drive, I would still have a backup for leverage. I changed the name to Random Numbers and Letters and stuck it in the Windows folder. I figured nobody would think to look there. I then copied the video of Parker and Rafferty to the memory card. After that, I copied it to my phone as well. Next, I created an email account and wrote an email to Alex. I told him everything I learned since we last talked and gave him my new phone number in a way that only Alex would understand, just in case someone hacked his email. I signed it John. I sent off the email and closed the computer. I needed to think. After a while and no real solutions, I decided to busy myself with something else. I found the silverware and plates and set the table. I put out napkins and even found a couple of candles that I put on the table. I found a bottle of wine under the cabinet, but I hesitated to open it in case Annie didn't drink alcohol and just had it for guests. Instead, I put a couple of glasses on the table and filled them with ice and spring water from the fridge. I lit the candles 10 minutes later when I saw Annie's police cruiser pull in. The door opened and Bruno came running in. I was standing in the dining room. When he saw me, his tail started wagging and he ran up to me, put his paws on my chest, and started licking my face again, just like the first time he saw me. "Bruno, get down," Annie said. It was less of a command and more of a polite request, so Bruno ignored her. "Bruno, sit," she said more sternly. This time, Bruno sat but continued wagging his tail. I saw Annie standing by the door with a pizza box in her hand. "Oh my," she said. "You set the table. How romantic." "I know we are technically engaged to be married, but for me, this feels like a first date," I said. "I'll be honest, John, I don't know how to feel right now," she said. "On the one hand, I feel like I need to mourn John's loss. On the other hand, I want to celebrate his return." "It is certainly a difficult situation," I said. "I have been having more conflicting feelings lately than anyone should ever have. Just being with you is a conflict for me." "You mentioned you have a wife, as that other person," Annie said. "Her name is Lisa," I said. "She is Alex's wife, not mine. I have come to accept that, but it is difficult. I know I need to move on and live my own life." "Well, for now, let us just enjoy this pizza," Annie said. "I agree," I said, before opening the box and putting a couple of slices on each of our plates. The pizza had peppers, onions, olives, and another vegetable that I couldn't identify, but no meat. "Are you a vegetarian?" I asked. "I noticed there is no meat in your fridge." "I don't like to label myself like that," she said. "I don't want to put myself in a box that dictates what I can and can't eat. If I want to eat meat, I will. I just usually prefer to avoid it." "I never thought about it that way, but you are right. You are wise beyond your years," I said before taking another bite of pizza. Annie had a look of surprise on her face. "You've told me that before," she said. "Are you sure John is not in there with you?" "To be honest, I'm not so sure," I said. "I don't think I remember anything from John's life, but when I first saw you, there was a flash of familiarity. Also, how I feel seems different. I feel less intimidated by other people. I seem to have a confidence that I never had before." "John was overflowing with confidence," she said. "I loved that about him." "Well, I'm confident I could eat another slice of pizza," I said. "How about you?" "Give me the big one," she said. I assumed she was referring to the pizza, so I took out the biggest slice and put it on her plate. "The big one for the pretty lady," I said, smiling. I then found the next biggest slice and put it on my plate. "Do you really think I'm pretty?" she asked. "Of course, who wouldn't? What do you find pretty about me?" she asked. "What is most appealing to you?" I looked at her for a moment and then said, "Your eyes. I love your deep blue eyes. They are like the beautiful blue waters of a tropical paradise." She smiled and said, "What else?" "What else?" I repeated. "What do you mean? What else do you find attractive?" She said, "Well, this is another example of how I have changed. If I had met you as Alex, I would have never been comfortable telling you how beautiful your breasts are. Even under that uniform, your figure looks fantastic." "Now I know John is in there," she said as she leaned over to kiss me. I put my arms around her and kissed her back. It became uncontrollably passionate as Annie climbed on top of me. We kissed for another 30 seconds. And then she leaned back and slowly unbuttoned her blouse. She slipped her left arm out and then her right and returned to kissing me. She was wearing a cream-colored lace bra that highlighted her ample breasts. Probably not police issue, I thought. She reached behind her back and unhooked the bra, then removed it and let it fall to the floor. She then grabbed my hands and placed them on her breasts. They felt soft and silky smooth. "How do you feel about them now?" she said. "I've almost forgotten about your eyes," I said as I put my arms around her. I kissed her again, stood up, and carried her to the bedroom. We made love for what seemed like hours, then fell asleep in each other's arms. This audiobook continues on the next video. For more information on this book and others by this author, please visit charleshuss.com.